Yo, 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 welcome to the Killjoy Jake YouTube channel. Greatly appreciate ya for hanging out with us tonight. We are live with somewhat half of the Lethal Collective. It's the two dudes show tonight.
Yeah,
And the Night Watch Zone is joining me. What's up, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. We'll just call ourselves those two dudes.
I like it. I
Yeah,
I think we just need to rebrand. No.
we do, man. I'm telling you, name situations. Who needs them?
Who needs them anyways, you know? We don't got to put labels on our love night. Anyways,
Right?
we're still waiting on Mr. Fate decided, but for now we are hanging. We're talking a little Scream tonight, talking predictions for Scream 8, and also looking back on some things happening with Scream 7 at the box office. Some exciting things to talk about and break down. So. First, I want to say hi to some great people who are hanging out with us. Some fans, I believe, of the Scream franchise. Perhaps we have Denise Lawler. Maybe. What's up? How are you? Thank you so much for being a member. I really appreciate the support. You'll be able to see the new Dexter videos early, which one just came out today, publicly. Episode 1, baby. So go check
Yeah.
that out if you haven't seen
No,
it.
number one of 200, baby. It's a lot of episodes, man.
It is going to take us a long time to get through that, dude.
Dude, I'm just happy for you going through it, man. Seriously, because, whew, telling you, it was good stuff though, all the way through for me as a viewer.
I feel like the only person who hasn't seen it, I had some friends come in from out of town this weekend, and they had, like, I was asking them, I'm like, have you guys seen Dexter? And, you know, they've seen some stuff. Like, we talk movies every now and then. They had seen every episode of Dexter, like, literally everything.
Ooh, wow, well, there you go.
I
Yeah.
can't believe I missed it. I just can't believe I never got around to it. So
Same here, man. I was someone who heard it was good, never got a chance to really watch it, and kind of was waiting, and then we just took a dive into it, and man, I'm so happy I did.
I'm happy so far. I'm only a couple episodes in, but it's phenomenal. So I'm loving it. Can't wait to see
Yep.
what comes next. We also got Paula hanging out with us. Hi, hi, hello. What's up? What's up? We got Ghost in the Dark Kills saying, "What's up, Jake? Hope you're doing." I hope you're just I'm doing. That's for sure. Won't be able to stay because I have my appointment with my therapist. Hope that goes well, my friend. I just wanted to stop by and say what's up. I watched Hush and Undertone. You love them both? Freaking awesome. Hell yeah. Great movies. Knight, did you get a chance to see Undertone this past weekend?
I haven't yet, and I'm like, oh, I'm praying. I'm praying to see it as soon as possible. I've heard some really interesting things. No spoilers, of course, that I've heard, but just positive reaction. And I love Hush. Hush is so underrated. Oh my
Yes.
God. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Hush was one of those movies that I didn't even realize it was another Mike Flanagan movie that I hadn't seen. Speaking of that, and I watched it maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and it blew me away. It's great stuff if you haven't seen it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm quite excited. Quite excited to talk Undertone at some point on the page. If you haven't seen it, Night, I do recommend it. I don't know if that's your cup of tea or not, but I
Yeah.
would recommend seeing it for sure.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely going to. Definitely going to.
Rock on, rock on. We'll be talking about it at some point. I've been meaning to make a little short, just haven't had the time. We
Nice.
also got RJ hanging out with us, saying welcome to the Kill Core Zone. That could be what our Monday nights are when Fate doesn't show up. I like that.
Right. I like that, man.
Thoughts on the, oh, sorry, were you gonna say something?
No, no, no. That just caught me off guard. The kill core zone. Wow.
We're gonna have all kinds of names by the time the stream is over. This is great.
We are.
Thoughts on the Oscars win last night? I don't think they gave horror respect. What? I think they
What?
absolutely did. Oh,
Bro.
we're gonna have to talk about this. Night, how do you feel about what won?
Well, first of all, I think that I think horror definitely got its flowers. I mean, they started the show with Conan being Aunt Gladys. I mean, if that wasn't a little bit of an idea of what the night was going to be like, I don't know what was. Amy Madigan won for Best Supporting Actress. Frankenstein got 3 awards. Sinners got 4 awards, including Best Actor from Michael B. Jordan. I mean, bro, I think it was a great night for horror. I mean, I can't remember any other year where horror did so well overall in multiple movies, by the way. Now, of course, in 91, I believe it was, for Silence of the Lambs, they won the 5 major categories, which was absolutely amazing and always will be amazing. But that was just one movie. Last night we had multiple horror films getting their flowers and getting great applause from the audience and so forth. So I was very happy when I was watching it.
And I remember last year was exciting because a lot of movies got nominated. I think really only a few things won, like The Substance won for correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like best hair and makeup or something like that,
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So, small potatoes. But this
Right.
tonight, or last night, I should say, was a lot of big awards where horror
Yeah.
won. Best Picture went to One Battle After Another, which is still a very good movie. I got to see it
Yep.
recently. But I was really hoping Sinners would take that home, you know?
I know, man. I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, man, if we can get this, this is it. Because, Ryan Coogler got original screenplay, which was great. And Michael got best actor. And I was like, man, if we get the best film, I mean, but not to say that we still didn't come away with some great stuff and just the recognition. And not that I want to do this on your page, Jake, but I just want to say to the audience and anyone watching the replay, we've got to keep supporting horror in the theaters. This is the type of stuff that we can get. This is the type of recognition that we can get. And we love all of our classic franchises. We'll always love them, but things like Sinners and Weapons, original horror, we got to keep supporting those things and do even better job. And I'm talking about Me Too. Me Too. I haven't seen Undertone yet. I got to go and see that. I want these movies to keep getting recognition, and that's how we're going to continue this trend.
You can always do that on my page, just for just for the record. This is why I try to see all of the independent movies in the theaters when I can, especially something like Undertone, which was made for $500,000. That's like nothing for a movie budget, and I think it's already pulled in something like $9 million, which is so good. Like that's crazy. I'm really happy for that movie. It's very deserved. It's a subtle movie, and we don't get movies that I feel are subtle anymore. And that was something that, for me at least, made it really stand out. So I'm so happy to see it succeed. I'm really excited for Ian Tuison, who has a blossoming career right now. He's coming out next year with the new Paranormal Activity movie. Just lots of good things come from supporting these little indie flicks. So please go out and see them, because you might be seeing the first movie from someone who could be a horror master one day. You never know.
That's right. That's right. You never know. I mean, look at Zach Krager. Who would have thought, after seeing that monstrosity that was baby, that he'd be at the Oscars, and getting his flowers, and he got the best supporting actress for Amy, and she was giving credit to everyone, which I loved that. 75 years old, 40 years since her last nomination. She deserved it. She was fantastic in Weapons, and it was great again just to see horror get the recognition, even if it's, like, you never know until you see a movie whether you'll like it or not. But as far as us being horror fans, definitely give these things a chance, because again, you might really surprise yourself and find a new favorite horror movie.
100%. 100%. It's the only way we can find good new stuff is by going out and seeing these weird little flicks. You never know. You never know what you're going to get. And Gladys especially, I'm sorry, we could talk about the Oscars. We should have made this whole thing about the Oscars, if I'm being honest.
All right.
Aunt Gladys, it's such an interesting character. She's someone who has become like an instant horror icon, recognizable everywhere. People are, dressing up like her over on TikTok and, YouTube, everywhere. It's crazy. It's amazing that you just made such an instantly recognizable character like that for someone who doesn't even have like that much screen time in the movie, but is the main antagonist. Amy Madigan deserves all the flowers, all the Oscars. We're very happy for her here.
Yep, absolutely.
Mick Ducky, thank you so much for being a YouTube channel member as well. Greatly appreciate you. Where is your cool ass profile picture at? I want to go there. I'm thinking. I'm trying to think where that's at.
It almost looks like something like out of Lord of the Rings or something.
Yeah, right? I love that. What's up, Mick Ducky? How are you? Thank you for supporting the page, and you're so cool for going to all these cool places.
For Gondor.
I want to watch that trilogy again now. Damn.
Right?
Yeah. I always want to do that, though. Let's be honest. We have Wayne Turner hanging out with us saying, hi, all. It is 10:02 a.m. Tuesday. Wayne is in the future in Sydney, Australia. If Guy Busick is a writer on 8, I sadly expect it to be terrible. Yes, because Guy Busick's that Scream 7 was Guy Busick's movie through and through. He wrote and directed it. I'm sorry, Wayne. Much love and respect. I guess I don't understand that take when Kevin Williamson was the forefront of this movie. This was Kevin's movie through and through, baby. We got Erica hanging out with us, hanging out, saying hey to everybody. We love that. Erica, thank you for being a member. Thank you for modding tonight. So much love to you. And also, Erica is responsible for a lot of the new cool shit behind me. She actually sent some of this crazy shit my way recently. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Greatly appreciate that, Erica. We also got Peyton here. Thanks for being a member. We got Toxie City. Yo, yo, yo.
Hey.
We're going to stop saying hi to people in a second, actually talk Scream, by the way, but I can't help myself. Too many good friends out there. Kelly's also here saying, hey, folks, happy Monday, Jake, Knight, and chat. What's up, Kelly? Thanks for being a member. Peyton's throwing $2 out there saying, Jake, I saw Scream 7 for a 7th and final time. 7 times just to be sure, right?
Right. It's got to be 7. Listen, this movie's made a hell of a lot of money. So, hey, it is what it is. It's awesome stuff.
100%. Speaking of which, I cannot think of a better segue for finally getting into some Scream talk tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Scream 7 has become the highest grossing Scream movie of all time at the box office, dethroning the original, which the movie just reeled in 176 million. And of course, if you adjust for inflation, the original Scream didn't technically make 166 million. It made about 345 million, which is insane. But not adjusting for inflation, Scream 7 is the highest grossing film in the franchise. Knight, how do you feel about that?
Well, I'm happy. I'm happy because I want to see this franchise continue. I want to see this franchise succeed. And we all know at the end of the day, it's all about the cheddar. So it made its money. We were all hyped to go and see it. I know there was frustrations here and there with a lot of folks. But at the end of the day, I'm not ready for this franchise to come to a halt. Not that I think that it would, but I didn't want to see another Scream 4 scenario, where they just didn't make money and then everyone's like, let's take a decade off. I don't necessarily want to do that yet. We knew that this was probably going to happen just because of how things were skewing with the trailer, with the hype, the 10,000 TV spots, and all of that online. So yeah, it's not surprising, and I'm happy for it. I really am.
I am too, if I'm being honest. I think you guys probably know our thoughts by now. What's up?
Oh, now I can hear you. At first I couldn't hear you for a second.
Oh, weird.
That was weird.
I hope everyone can hear my voice cutting through and complaining about movies, because what would I do if I couldn't do that? Right. What I will say is, of course, Knight and I had our complaints about the movie, but we are very happy that it succeeded at the box office. When horror wins in general, kind of everything in the field does. So whenever a big horror movie like this makes waves, or, you read a headline like, wow, this is the highest grossing Scream movie ever, that's a big deal. Despite the quality, box office doesn't mean quality. You know what I mean? It doesn't equate to the same thing. It just means, hey, people are interested in horror right now, so we should probably keep making that. And that's a good thing for the entire genre, no matter what the movie, no matter what the case is. So I'm very happy to hear that Scream 7 is making so much money. I'm very happy to hear that Scream 8 is likely going to happen as well. I mean, I think anyone could have guessed that a couple weeks ago, but I'm just still, again, it's all good news is what it is, because rising tides raise all ships. That kind of energy.
I like that. And it's true. It's very true. I mean, again, this is a legacy franchise, and, there are other legacy franchises out there, and everyone has their favorites, but they've all been around for a long time for a reason, because they do have audiences all over the world. And when you have, a Scream film do well, then that means that other legacy franchises get, a little bit of shine. And when those possibilities for a movie come about, they'll look at Scream and they'll say, yeah, people still want to see, this this property that is, 30 or 40 or almost 50 years old or what have you. So again, I'm happy for it, frustrations and all. Again, we talked about it a lot. We'll continue to talk about it for at least a few more weeks, I'm sure. It was a fun experience in the sense that I was super excited for it. I was in the theater for a Scream film. I toasted to our good friend, and we sat and watched some Ghostface shit. I was happy with that. Was I frustrated at the end? Yeah. Am I waiting to see what's going to happen with my second viewing? Yeah, but again, I'm glad, and but I'm glad there's so many people that loved it. There's a lot of people that love this damn film. That's great. I'm in the middle for now, and that might change. Who knows? I mean, maybe I'll like it more, or maybe I won't. But that's all good because I love the franchise, and that's for me, that's the most important thing.
It's still really fun to talk about the franchise, right? I mean, there's
It
still so
is.
many. I feel like there's still so many possibilities that we could do with new Scream films at this point.
Yep.
And maybe that's kind of weirdly a good thing that Seven didn't go too crazy in a new direction because it didn't like eliminate a possibility. So
True.
like again, it's one of those things where I'm like, I want to see them do new stuff in the movies, but it is nice that we can still talk about these possibilities for another couple of years,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
the speculation is part of what fuels the fire, in my opinion. And that's why a franchise like this is so, in my opinion, so popular online because there's so much speculation. I mean, we spent months and months and months before this film came out just talking about the possibilities and what we were thinking and trying to solve the mysteries and put the pieces of the puzzle together. That's the magic of this franchise, and as long as they have that as part of their DNA, they're gonna be fine. They really are. And now, we've got old school fans and a brand new crop, of fans, a new generation, a younger generation. There's people that were in the theater 11 years old, 10 years old. They're gonna be fans for a long time, hopefully, and that'll carry the franchise. That's good news.
100%. And I really want to see more Scream films. I think that's like a big takeaway from all of this. Just
Mhm.
because, I wasn't really so crazy about it. You were in the middle. It doesn't mean I don't want them to stop making Scream films altogether. I really want to see Scream continue onward and, for future generations who might fall in love with this franchise, might go back to the original even and realize how great that movie is. You know what I mean? That's a wonderful thing to know could happen just because this franchise is thriving now. So, um,
Absolutely.
Peyton, thank you so much for the $2. I really appreciate the support, and I'm glad that you liked Scream 7 so much to go to the theaters 7 times for it. That's insane. I love it.
Yep, yep.
MM Garza 1997. I love your Ed Pool as the profile picture. That's
I
hilarious.
love that.
Thank you for the 5. You're saying bring Jill Roberts back. She survives the shot in the heart and the defibrillator. She's in a prison. Have it Silence of the Lamb style, like we're visiting her, asking her for advice on a new ghost face. I love that idea. Believe it or not, this was a deleted ending to Scream 6 where they were going to keep Quinn alive, and we were going to visit her in prison during a post-credits scene. So this is something that the Scream creatives have thought about. Knight, I'll throw this your way. Do you want to see a ghost face survive or maybe be resurrect one from the past comes back and is in prison somewhere?
I would love for a Ghostface killer to survive. I think that's kind of the missing sauce right now. And by the way, if they had done that with Quinn, I would have been dancing for joy because she was easily my favorite Ghostface killer of the three and six. Um, I would have loved to seen what they would have done with that, but I do think having a killer survive would be great. And I think it would kind of just, I don't know, it would give it that extra punch. Like for all the issues I might have had with the finale, when Jessica ran off, I got excited. I truly did because I was like, okay, wait a minute, what's going to happen? Because, as I'm watching it that very first time, of course, I've only seen it one time, but she runs. And so I'm thinking, well, something good has to come out of this for her. She's just not going to run and then come into a wall and then they kill her. You know what I mean? So they played a little hide and go seek for sure. I want it more, but I think having a killer survive would be great. It really would. And if they were to bring back someone like Jill, first of all, I love Jill, so I can't lie. I'd have fun with that regardless. But if they brought her back and did something like a Silence of the Lambs thing, I'd be interested in it just to see how they pull it off. That would be some great stuff for Emma or any actor in those shoes to kind of play a Lecter type of style, Lecter type of character. Can you imagine? Hello, cousin. It's like that'd be great.
Someone like Jill would be perfect for that because she was running the show in Scream
She
4.
was.
I feel like, with Stu, I'd want to have him come back and be like a new version of the character. But you could kind of like, I feel like Jill is a character where I could use more from her. Like there could be more story with her, especially with how ahead of its time, Scream 4 is in terms of like influencer culture, something that is, still kind of could be problematic today. And I think you
Hmm.
could kind of spin that in a new way in some sort of new film if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
So if there's any character they should bring back, for me it's Jill Roberts. I love Stu, and I still feel like we got robbed in Scream 7. So if they bring him back, I'll be cheering. I'll be jumping up and down, throwing my popcorn all over the place. It'll be a disaster. But Jill is the character that I'm like, there's story to be had there. There you could revisit that
Yes.
character and truly do something fresh with it again.
Yeah, man. I mean, she was just so committed and she was just so imbalanced. And Emma was able to make it work. Like it was so organic. I mean, that switch, it's hard to pull off that switch. I mean, obviously, hell, man, in a way, we've talked about that for all of these killers in one way or the other. When you switch from seeming like that regular character to a Ghostface killer, I mean, it's a big thing, and it's tough to pull off. But she was one of those Ghostface killers that was able to. And as soon as she just started taking out Trevor and Charlie and ranting and raving and then kicking her own ass, I was just like, I had more popcorn going in my mouth. I was like, yes, yes, keep going. It was great. It really was. I mean, to this day, for finale, I mean, I'm not just going to keep ranting on Jill, but I'm just saying that finale was definitely a standout in this franchise of 7 movies. That's a thing in and of itself. 7 movies, and I think that finale, as far as the Ghostface killer after being unmasked, just crazy what she was doing.
Yeah, man, I'm really hoping we get more of Jill, and I really hope we get another third act like that again in the
Yes.
future. I think that to me might be there's a lot of things about 7 that were like just felt underwhelming, but to me the third act, just most things about it, I wish we could have nailed that down a little more. And
Yeah.
I'm just hoping whatever comes next, we just get a more solid finale, ghost face reveal, motives are stronger. I don't need to be fooled who's underneath the mask. We're basically, if it's a big actor joining the cast for Scream 8, that's probably who it is. I just want a good motive. I want something that's a little more concise and clear. Where I just feel like Scream 7 was a little too messy in that department. So
Yeah.
whatever they do next, keep it simple, keep it interesting.
Hmm. I agree.
Garza, thank you so much for the 5. Again, I really appreciate the support. We got some other friends hanging out with us. We got Julie out there. Thank you so much for being here, Julie. Thanks for being a member. Looking forward to going and seeing Undertone. I hope you enjoy it.
Hmm.
It's not for everybody. I was the only person in my group of friends that liked it, but you never know. Who knows? The teenagers behind us loudly exclaimed, "It's over!" when it was over. So if that gives you an idea of what this movie's all about. The
I
kids did
love it.
not. Yeah, right. I love it. The kids didn't like it. I loved it. That's where I'm
Yeah.
at with it. So
That means I'm probably gonna like it too.
that's there you go. Peyton is throwing $2 out there saying we are for sure getting an Aunt Gladys movie. That's allegedly in the works for Mr. Zach Krager.
Yep.
Do you want to see that prequel night? How do you feel about that?
I mean, I'm open to it because I really loved the character, and supposedly, in Weapons, there was a segment of story that was deleted, that was cut, that was kind of giving more, fleshing out Aunt Gladys a lot more, and I guess that's his jumping off point for this prequel idea or what have you. So I mean, like, so it organically was already kind of there, and now he's just gonna grow it out for the movie. And listen, I'm all behind Zach. He's just really, really an interesting filmmaker, and I'm just so happy that we have talent like him, able to do what he's doing. This is original content, people. This is great stuff. I mean, obviously he's not the only one that does original horror, but I'm just saying, at this scale and with the success that he's been able to have, this is just great stuff. And I mean, again, these are films that, for the kids today, they could be talking about for 20 years down the road, talking about an Aunt Gladys or whatever. So yeah, man, let's go. I'm down with it.
Absolutely, dude. Peyton, I really hope we get that movie. Especially after last night. Well, especially just after seeing the original movie, I kind of want more. I'm selfish like that.
Right? I know, man. I mean, dude, she was so freaking creepy. That scene in the woods where
Oh,
all of a sudden she just kind of appeared, and she's just like, I'm like, that was creepier than Pennywise.
Yeah.
I
It kind
mean,
of gave some Pennywise vibes. You know what I
yeah,
mean? The in the woods or
yeah,
whatever. It was like, ooh, that's
yeah.
freaky.
But it was so like off kilter. I loved it. And this is, listen, if I was a little kid, this is the type of shit that would be giving me nightmares. And I love that. I love that for the young kids that are just getting their feet wet into horror. I mean, it's really a good time for them because they're getting new creative stuff like this. They've still got the legacy stuff that we're not going to let them forget ever. So it's a good marriage. It really is.
Respect your elders. Horror will never let you forget that. Never.
That's right. Dance with who brought you.
Peyton, thank you so much for the two. I really appreciate that. We also got Sarah Campbell out there. Thank you for being with us too, Sarah. You're saying, besides all the wins for Sinners, the musical number was my highlight of the night. Also, Jack O'Connell on the red carpet with his fangs was great. It was really cool to see him supporting Sinners out there for sure. For sure.
Yeah, bro. When they did, as soon as Miles Catton came out and was singing, and I lied to you, and I was like, bro, they're not gonna do the scene, are they? Can they do that on stage? Bro, they did it. I was like, are you listen, for anyone that has not seen Sinners, you guys got to see this freaking movie. When that scene happens in the film, I mean, first of all, I can't lie. I get emotional about it. And it's just this whole story through eras of time, and it's like it's telling you a story without the character speaking to you. Like that is such great filmmaking, you know? And they were able to do that at the Oscars. And man, I was so hyped up. I was like, this is amazing. This is again, creative minds that are allowed to cook, like Ryan Coogler. Hats off to him and what he was able to create.
100%. I think it's really cool that Sinners basically took over last night in a way. We had
Hmm.
people coming out. I can't remember who the celebrity was, but someone had made a joke that they bet $1,000 on Michael B. Jordan winning Best Actor last night or something on Call She, like as a joke.
Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah.
I guess he won big. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Like people were that confident that it was going to happen, kind of
Yeah.
idea. So horror, just a horror movie in general, taking over the box office. That's something to celebrate, no matter what, in my
Mhm.
opinion. So I love that. I love that we got the musical number. I love that Sinners took home the gold in so many different categories. Like I said, Best Picture would have been nice, but I can't complain. I can't complain.
Yeah, I mean, you're up against, Paul Thomas Anderson and Leo and Benicio del Toro. I mean, that's a look. That was a freaking good movie, man.
Yeah. Yes, it
So
was. Dude, and PTA was having kind of a rough year with one
yeah,
battle after another. That movie bombed, and it's so good. Like I didn't even see it. Like I was like,
yeah,
whatever about it. And then I sat down and watched it because I'm an idiot who didn't go to and see a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. And
yeah,
I watched it. I'm like, this is fucking phenomenal. This is one of the best movies from last year. How did I miss
yeah,
this? Like I'm
yeah,
so bad.
yeah. And and the thing of it is that how long he's been doing great films, and this was his first win last night, and it's like, I mean, There Will Be Blood, I mean, Boogie Nights, The Master. I mean, this dude, he's a legend. I mean, even he said, I forgot how he worded it. Basically, like you make someone work for a long time to get this, or something like that. And it's like, yeah, man. But now you got it, and rightly so. So as much as I wanted Sinners to win, and granted, I still would have wanted Sinners to win the Best Picture. But hey, you lost to some giants in a really great movie, so it's no disrespect.
It felt like everything won something big. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes,
Every except Marty Supreme, but literally everything else seemed to win something pretty big.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of people who totally disagree with that, especially because of that movie that I just said. I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen
I
Marty
haven't
Supreme.
either. I haven't either. I mean, I'm a fan of Timothy. I think he's very talented and so forth. At some point, I will see it. I've heard good things about it, but yeah, I mean, just from the outside looking in, because I haven't seen it. I mean, you're dealing with One Battle. You're dealing with Sinners, Hamnet. I mean, it's bro, you guys sit back. These movies are phenomenal, and Jesse Buckley, I absolutely adore her. She was in this crazy ass movie years ago called Men. I don't know if you
Yeah.
ever saw that. Bro, is that a mind trip or what? I mean,
Oh man, her performance is great. Don't get me wrong. The
mhm.
visuals in that movie have not left my mind since I
Right?
saw it. Like, if you know,
Right?
it's one of those things. If you know, you know. The last like
Right.
10 minutes or so of that movie is like, what am I looking at? Oh my god.
Yeah, man, we were watching it here, and I was excited to talk about it with my brother and with Coriander. So me and Coriander were watching it, and at that point, she's just like, she looks over at me, she's like, "Okay, what are we doing? What is this?" You know, and I'm just laughing my ass off. A very interesting movie, visually amazing, but Jessie Buckley is a force. She is amazing. I absolutely love her, and I hope that she gets all the roles. She deserves it.
And one last thing about that, and we will get to these super chats. I greatly appreciate you all so much for the support tonight. Jessie Buckley was amazing in The Bride, and if you have not seen it yet in theaters, I really recommend it. It's not a perfect movie by any means, but the performances. Oh, I mean, Jessie Buckley and Christian Bale are tearing it up the entire movie. You will not be bored. You might be confused at points, but man, you will not be bored watching that movie. I promise. Just I can't believe no one's seeing that movie. Sorry, it's just like it's
It's
nuts. It's a beautiful
it
film.
it's tough, man, because there are a lot of great films that just kind of they fall through the cracks, unfortunately, and we've seen that time and time again. But I suppose we just got to hold our hat to these moments when they get recognition, or they do have success, or what have you. So yeah.
100%, 100%. Misty Womack, thank you so much for the 5. I greatly appreciate the support. You're saying, hey, fellas, happy Monday. I liked Scream 7. The nostalgia was too powerful for me to hate it. Sorry, not sorry. I can't help myself. Don't be sorry. That's amazing. We were saying it earlier. If you have found love with a horror film by any means, you are welcome here. This is the place to celebrate all kinds of horror, even if we disagree. I mean, that happens. It's all good.
Yeah. Yep, it's true.
I'm just happy you liked it, truthfully. I mean, that's I feel like I started this page in general with the hopes that I could find other people who really enjoyed horror flicks. So if
Yeah.
that's the case, you are in the right place, my friend. So thank you so much for the 5. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad that you liked Scream 7. That fucking rocks. We also got Peyton here throwing 5 out there saying, I hope 8 doesn't flop like Saw 6 or Scream 4 with the reviews of 7. I will go see Scream 8 times like 7 unless it's bad. I know the reason 7 is making money. That is, that's a big question. We're talking Scream 8 predictions tonight, Night. What do you think the box office for 8 is going to be like after 7's reviews were a little more mixed?
Well, I think it's gonna just depend on the angle. Where are they going with this? We know marketing is so important, and I think they did a fairly okay job with the marketing of 7. I mean, the big catch was obviously the nostalgia. Nev is
Right.
back, Matthew's going to be in it, and of course that mystery. So they were smart in that sense. They didn't need to have 3 trailers. You just have 1 trailer and 1,000 TV spots, and you're good. So I think it just depends on where they go. Once we start hearing the stories, we're going to know, are they going to continue this path, with Tatum and with Nev and maybe the twins and Gail, or are they going to have some type of a reset of sorts? I think, man, I don't know. But I'll tell you this. I don't think that 8, they'd have to do some shitty ass stuff for 8 to fail. You know what I'm saying? Like, it may not do the numbers that 7 has done, but I don't think it'll be a box office disappointment.
It is up in the air. I think Scream at this point is just one of those things that people are going to show up for no matter what.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's not gonna fail. You know what I mean? It's not gonna just like completely fly under the radar and no one's gonna go see it.
Yeah.
I don't expect the Scream 7 question right now. The big conversation is this thing going to hit 200 million? And that is very likely a yes. I wouldn't expect that conversation with Scream 8, though, is what I'll say. Because, and this is the thing, you might have loved Scream 7, and that is amazing if you did. But just looking at the actual box, like, not the box office, the reports from critics and viewers, it seems more of a mixed reaction than 5 and 6. And because of that, that typically lends to not so great things moving into whatever the next thing is. Saw 6, that Peyton kind of brought up, is a really good example of that. Saw 5 got some pretty atrocious reviews when it came out into the box office. We actually broke it down on last week's Killzone, which was a lot of fun talking about that one. Uh,
Yeah.
and it kind of led to Saw 6 not making as much money. Still profitable, but just nowhere near the box office pull of Saw 5. So bad reviews can kind of hurt whatever comes next in a franchise. Obviously, it's not hurting Seven's success by any means, dude. It will likely hit 200 million. We'll likely be talking
Yeah.
about this maybe even next week, if I'm being
Yep.
honest.
Yep. And of course, just like you said, I was about to yell it to the heavens, and Saw 6 underperforming was a crime
It is.
because 6 is amazing. But that's the point, is that, if you have that shadow over you, like 6 had, and by the way, 5 to me, it's underrated, man. I have fun with 5, but 6 had to deal with that, and so it was hard for it to come out from underneath of that, even though it's a great entry in the franchise, and critics actually gave it some props. So we'll see what happens with 8, but I think, again, the fandom's going to be there. It's Ghostface. If Nev comes back, it's Sidney Prescott. And so, I think it'll bode well for it to do decent numbers, but I don't think it's going to match what 7 has done.
Yeah, and before we move on from this, I do just want to say I want to apologize for last week's Killzone where I trashed Saw 5. I rewatched it. That movie rocks so hard. Look, it's got problems, okay? But
Yeah.
dude, the ending of Saw 5 is like I want to jump up and down.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk about the okey doke. I mean, bro, that the thing that's great about it, I'm so sorry. We're like talking about everything else, but the great thing about 5, well, one of the great things is you got Hoffman and Strom, and they're in this 12-round fight going back and forth. And when you get to the end, you really don't know exactly who's going to get the better of the other per se. And it really
Yeah.
looks like Strom is going to win this thing, and then they just flip it. And I didn't see it coming. I honestly didn't see it coming, because through the whole movie, they were kind of, again, one-upping each other so much. So I think that was a strong point for 5. And of course, you get to have some Tobin Bell in the flashbacks showing how he, groomed Hoffman. And it's a fun movie. It really is.
The thing I remember, the reason I think I was so quick to just hop on the Saw 5 hate train last week was the big thing I remembered about it was like the whole trap plot that, admittedly, even after my rewatch this past weekend, I was still kind of like, it's
Yeah.
still not great. I still don't love the characters, but like everything else is fantastic. Everything going on with
Yeah.
Mark Hoffman, especially in that movie, and the ending. I mean,
Yeah.
just like actually 10 out of 10. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, he's a killer that is trying to stay anonymous. Like, and the walls, pun intended, the walls are closing in on him. You know what I mean? So it's like that, to me, that was such a great plot device for this film, as well as 6 and 7. It's like, is he going to get away with it? And I think that it'd be so cool to see a Scream film do that, like we've talked about before. Like the original plan was for Jill, for the original idea for Scream 5. I would just love to see that. Like when we saw freaking Jason at the beginning of 6, bro, I was like, Tony Revolori, show me what you got. And we got a couple minutes, but I mean, just imagine that could be such a fun thing in a Scream film.
I would love to see Scream adopt some of those like just insane ideas, but not to the point where it ruins other stuff, because that's another thing that I feel like I have to put a big asterisk up with,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of like trying out new things in Scream 7 that I feel like ruined just pillars of the franchise. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And that's a big thing. Like I feel like you can. Scream 7 made me realize I think you can be too experimental. I think you can go too far off the deep end to the point where it's like, this is unrecognizable almost at this
Right.
point.
Yep.
So try some new stuff out, but not outside the borders of your franchise. Peyton is also cracking me up here saying, I am the reason 7 is making so much money. You saw it 7 times, and you're probably not the only one to do so. You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah. Peyton, that's awesome. Thank you for the 2 again. We have Reagan McNeil from The Exorcist hanging out with us. You got a new movie coming out next year that I'm excited for.
Hey.
Mike Flanagan, baby.
That's right.
Jill Nation forever, my favorite. I can't argue with that. Jill is top tier Ghostface without a doubt. Thank you for the 2. Really appreciate it. We also got Davey Deathray out there saying, hey, hey, yo, yo, yo. What's up, Davey? How we doing?
TV.
How we doing? Some good stuff out there. Gina's been a member for 33 months. That's crazy. Gina, thank you for the support. Ziggy's doing so much better. Good.
All right. That is awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
We
Poor
heard
little Ziggy.
I know. Yeah, we heard his back leg wasn't doing too well. That's what it was in the kill zone last week, right? So
Yeah.
it's good to hear that things are going better. Ziggy's in better health. So Gina, thank you so much for being with us. So much love to little Ziggs. Thanks for being here. But yeah, let me make sure I'm caught up on everything because sometimes I forget to do that. Okay, hang on. Here we go. We got Erica Stabs for likes, throwing 2 out there saying 85 viewers and only 40 likes. Go hit the like button.
That's right. What are you doing?
You know what Erica will do if you don't hit the like button, right?
Dude, I don't even want to think about what Erica's going to do.
I think it's scarier that we're not saying what will happen. So there we go.
You don't want to know. You don't want to know the type of stuff that she'll do.
Erica will fuck you up. Oh.
You know what just came into my head was Tropic Thunder when Tom Cruise was doing Les Grossman. I will fuck you.
Dude, oh my God. That movie's so funny.
I love that movie. It's one of the funniest movies ever. Oh my God.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started. But
right? I know.
But anyways, we have a lot to still break down regarding Scream 8, dude. I mean, There is all these different weird accusations going on about like what is coming up next. Kevin Williamson, although he recently stated that he's opting out, he's not going to be the director for the next one, which kind of sounds like he's maybe stepping away from it almost entirely in terms of creative aspects.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think who do you think is going to direct, or do you have like someone in mind that you would want to direct?
I mean, I don't know who is going to direct. I mean, obviously there's a lot of directors that I think could have a great version of Scream. I mean, and I know we were just talking about Mike Flanagan, but I love Mike Flanagan so much, and he can do so many things. This is a guy that can direct theatrical. He can be on a streaming show where you got 10 or 12 episodes. That's hard to do, to craft a series and maintain, that level over the course of a whole season. But the thing about him I also like is the whole mystery side of it. Like, I think he does that very well. I mean, if you look at things like, especially like some of his streaming stuff, Midnight Mass, Hill House, bro, I'm watching these shows and I'm just like, I'm over and over because he was able to have a story unfold over time. You know what I mean? He was patient enough with it, and there was the payoff. So I would love to see someone like him. I know some people I saw in the chat saying James Wan. I mean, James Wan can do anything as well. I don't know necessarily if I would put him with Scream, because I think one thing about Scream as well, you do have to be able, and not that James can't do this, but Scream also has kind of that lightness to it as well, kind of that snappy, or at least some of the best movies have that snappy dialogue and direction. And not that James can't do that, but I'm just saying, I don't know if he would necessarily be at the top of my list for that. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see who they do get, because Kevin's like, peace. It's like, I was just talking about that the other night. And I love Kevin Williamson, and I think he should be able to do whatever he wants to do. But the way that it came off with the comments, because he's like, I'm always going to love being a part of Scream, but I don't always have to be in the spotlight. And like, as I'm reading it, it felt like he was kind of like doing that side dance as he's going off stage. And it's like, but I get it, like he wants to spread his wings. He's doing the Universal Monsters thing and all that. And, that's great.
Well, I think I understand Scream 7 a little better now. Like, this is a weird thing to phrase, how to phrase it, but I remember when they announced that Kevin Williamson was directing, and I just was kind of like scratching my head a little bit. I'm just like I understand wanting to do it. I understand like Kevin wanting to be kind of the face of the franchise for the new entry. He wrote the original, right? Yeah. But he's directed one thing before. What's cool though about like how that interview that came out from Hello Sydney, where he was kind of talking about, doing Scream 7. Now it sounds like he wants to direct other things. Like it was like his jumping point to get into some different stuff. And now I get Scream 7 a little more, because I'm like, he saw this as an opportunity to throw his hat into the ring of being a director.
Yeah.
And now I think that he's gonna try his hand at some other projects. That's kind of what he made it sound like. He's really interested in doing maybe even directing a few episodes of that Universal Monsters show you were talking about. And he's even hinting at doing another feature outside of the world of Scream, which
Yes.
that's cool to me. I'm like, okay, I'd be open-minded to that, doing your own original thing where you're not tied to an ongoing story that you just like have to continue, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, look, I mean, at the end of the day, he's been a part of this franchise, for 30 years. And as an artist, you always want to try, or at least you should always want to try to evolve and spread your wings and do things like that. And if he never wanted to do that, not saying I would criticize him, but look, like I said, I get it. And I'm behind him 100%, whatever he wants to do.
I just pressed a bunch of buttons. I was trying to message Fate backstage, but I was like, I just did something, and like all these pop-ups. I'm like, oh
He's
god,
gone.
He's gone. I'm just kidding. Well, guys, he's only 46 minutes late. It's okay. Let's welcome Fate Decided to the stage. What's up? What's up, my dude?
Hey.
Nothing, fashionably late. I wanted to build the suspense. That's what it was. It was
Wow.
about building the suspense. My internet is terrible right now because we're in the middle of a storm. So my internet, like you guys keep fuzzing in and out. So I'm gonna try my best to power through this for you guys. So, but it's not going great back here. So, yeah. But
That's
what's
all
going on,
good,
fellas? How's everybody?
Good, man. Good. Doing well.
Yeah, we're chilling. We're talking a little Scream 8 predictions tonight.
Beautiful, beautiful. I predict we'll get a
Oh,
part
yeah.
8.
And that's why we call you. Yeah, that's why we call you the Nostradamus of the collective.
Yeah, All right. Well, I'm done here. Have a good night, everyone.
Oh yeah, well, hey, we'll see you, man. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Oh my god. Well, real quick, I want to respond to Peyton here, throwing $10 out there, saying, Jake, I saw you reading my script last week. I got so excited to see you reading it. I was like, Killjoy Jake is reading my script. I woke up my parents doing that. Oh my god, dude. Hey, Peyton, thank you so much. Peyton sent me a script that he's working on right now. It is a Strangers fan film that he wrote, and it's like 133 pages. Like, dude wrote a script. That is not an easy thing to do. Like, you say that and it's like, okay, you wrote a script. What? No, that's hard work. 133 pages of a Stranger's script. That's Peyton. Not many writers get that far. So you should be very proud of yourself. I can't stress that enough. I was literally sending you a return email and my power went out for 3 hours straight last Friday. I'm dead serious. So I swear I'm going to get back to you very soon, my friend. That has me so excited that you were so excited. I really am enjoying it so far, and I'll be sending you an email very soon here. I promise, my friend. Thank you for the 10. I really appreciate the support.
Awesome stuff.
But I do want to throw this out there to Fate because I want to get his thoughts on all of this. So Scream 7, of course, you've probably seen all the news, has made $176 million. This is not adjusting for inflation, of course, has beaten out the box office of the original film. What are your thoughts on all that?
I mean, without counting, because adjusted for inflation, it'd have to make what, 300 million, which is
350 million.
350 million, which is crazy. For like a modern horror, like this is really good. You know what I mean? Like this is, you look in something we talked about leading into this. Like with The Conjuring, that was supposed to be the last movie, but now it's the beginning of like another 20 more. like that's again, like you've had this kind of resurgence of horror recently at the box office and box office having success. I don't want to speak too soon, but it feels like we might be getting back into like a theater era again, right? Like with horror comedy. I mean, we'll see what Scary Movie 6 does, but there's that new like drug induced comedy that's coming out with the guy from Stranger Things. You have like all these new like so my point is, the reason I bring that in is because like it feels like, you know, you look at the success of recent horror films, obviously like Marvel movies, stuff like that, they're always going to make insane money. But for a while it looked like the movies were going to get phased out except for those. You know, if it's not a Marvel movie, if it's not a, you know, Transformer, if it's not some like, you know, $1 billion production, it's going to go straight to streaming. And it just felt like we were heading in that direction of like, you know, like there's no new comedies, there's no new rom-coms, there's no new like anything. It's just like the big blockbusters. And then there'll be like a couple little indie films that may or may not do good. But outside of that, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, the fact that we are seeing some success with horror films, you know, I'm hoping that it's an upward trend. You know, I still think movies need to cut down the pricing if they're going to make it work. You know, you have these movies like Scream, like, so how much was the budget for? Was it 45 million?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're barely over break even still. You know, if you account for everything, if you account for marketing and everything, so you're talking $100+ million just for, because usually whatever the budget is, double that for marketing. So let's just round it up to 100 million. And then the theater takes 50% of all ticket sales. So they might not even be broken even, or if they are, they're a little over, you know? So like, that's another concern is like, you know, we look at the box office and it's like, it's great, but are these movies making money is the question. If Scream cracks 200 million, then it's in the green. I think I saw something that it would be in the green, like 30 million or 40 million, something like that, which now it's like, okay, that could be the success. And, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what they do, right? All of Kevin Williamson's recent comments, you know, Nev Campbell, like Kevin even said this might be Sydney's last like focused film. And look, I've said a million times, even dating back Scream 5, I think they should just start fresh. You'd be able to get a cheaper budget. You'd be able to kind of, you know, put some, I think Scream needs a clean slate. You know, like I do. I think new director, new writers, new cast, clean slate, Sydney and everyone's riding off into the sunset.
Can I point to something you just said, which I think is really interesting? You know, you said that the budget, I mean, has increased from 5 to 6 to 7. And I mean, by like 10 million each time.
Yeah, each time.
Yep. They can't afford that to do that again. Exactly. You cannot make a $55 million Scream movie and expect it to be profitable. Like that's just not gonna not gonna happen for Scream. Yeah. So like, point being, I think they have to clean house. Like I think they have to start 100%. Fresh with whatever comes next, or they're gonna lose money. Yeah, and no, like I the last thing that I wanted to add, like to that is like that's the thing is like you don't hear that conversation. You don't hear that side of the conversation. Yeah. All it is like, oh, Scream made 175 million. And I love that. I love the excitement. I love the enthusiasm. But again, it's like studios don't care about what it made in theater. They care about like what was the profitability of this film, you know? And a lot of people, I don't think really grasp and understand that, like, you know, you got to keep in mind, they paid $500 million for the rights to Scream. Like it wasn't just Scream; it was an entire catalog. But they paid upwards of $500 million for that. They're barely even scratching that dent with this Scream, which is why they're supposed to do spinoffs and all this other stuff. And there's still rumors about a series and stuff. But it goes to show, like Jake just said, they can't do a $50-60 million Scream movie. So they're going to have to get creative here. Like they need to get back to like this being like a $25-30 million Scream movie, you know, get a cast, all that stuff. And, you know, but I mean, you think about it, like Courtney is, you know, 7 to 10 million, you know, supposedly, we don't know exactly, but supposedly Nev was paid somewhere in the 7 to 10 million range right there. There's 20 million, right? You think of every movie that's gotten 10 million more, it's likely Courtney and Nev, right? Like, it was 10 million more from 6 to 7 and Nev's back. I imagine I know Courtney made 10 million for, I think it was Scream 5. So I imagine Nev's at least that, if not more. So I think it was reported that she got like 7 million for this new movie, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what I heard.
I saw 7 and I saw a couple people say 10. Who knows? But
it's like, a good payday either way, dude.
Yeah, either way.
Yeah.
Hey, but that's what I'm saying. Like you basically have 2 cast members that are a quarter of your budget, if not more, like 30% of your budget. Like that's not like, you know, like that again, now you gotta, and again, it's nothing against Nev. Like Nev should get
Right.
paid. If you want to keep, like, it's not
Yeah.
like I'm not saying it. I want to be clear. Like, I'm not saying it like, oh, chump change Nev or chump change Courtney. No, absolutely they should. But I'm talking about remove my separation and my bias for Nev and Courtney, and I look at it just from a studio standpoint. Can you really pay Nev and Courtney $20 million combined in this next film, and then a new cast, and then new this and a new that? And then if Tatum's coming back, she's going to want a pay bump. And if the Meeks twins come back again, they're going to want a pay bump. And so now all of a sudden, you're 30 million into the cast, and you haven't even done anything. You know what I mean? Like, so go ahead.
I just want to throw that to Knight real quick. I'm curious what your thoughts are on just like the money, the budget situation moving into Scream 8.
Well, I think that at this point, they really have to be aware of the money, right? Because again, like you guys said, and we all know it, there's a lot of money invested in this franchise. And all of us that want to see this franchise continue, like what we were saying earlier in this stream, the business side of it is a big part of it. And so when you think about the money that they're paying out to Nev and Courtney alone, it's kind of like, well, yeah, it's a huge chunk, number one. And number two, at this point, you do want to move forward, right? Like, now again, I don't know what they're going to do with 8 specifically, but I'm just saying, as far as just the plots of these films, you really should be thinking about moving forward and like phasing them out. I mean, there's 1,000 reasons for that. And I'm a big fan of both of those actresses and those characters. But again, and we've said it 1,000 times, if you're going to be in a Scream film, Courtney Cox, possibly the 8th film, and you keep surviving, it's like, bro, this horror film has lost its street cred. Okay. It's a horror film. It's a slasher at that. So there's a lot of things riding on the decisions that they're going to make, because it's going to affect the business, which will affect the franchise and the future of the franchise, but also just the story. Like, where are we going with this? What can you guys do now? Right. I mean, again, this film, we talked about, the mother idea, and that was cool. We got that there, but I don't know. I just feel as though they're going to have to really widen that lane. They really are.
I want to piggyback off of that real quick, because that's another reason I really it's another reason I really want to start fresh, clean slate. Every one of these films, who's going to survive. There's no stakes, like, and there's so many new stories you can do. There's so many, like, I actually, like, Kevin Williamson was like, oh, the Meeks twins, right? Kind of hinting at, like, maybe they do a movie with the Meeks. Like, I would love something like that. One, we might actually finally get to know who they are as characters, but two, at least it's something different. Maybe them trying to do their own thing, have a divorce from Gail, and because, she's too much, and they're trying to do their own thing. And, like, how cool would it be if they were, like, investigating ghostface attacks, right? Like, and like, you could do so much creative stuff with this, but we just keep wanting to default to the Sydney thing. At some point, it's going to get stale. And two, if you clean slate it, now you have no idea who's going to die. Like, the beauty of Scream is it doesn't have to be the same thing you could literally do an anthology Scream series, and every year for eternity have a new cast with new characters that you have no idea who's going to live or die. A new Ghostface who you have no idea who that Ghostface is going to be, because all the new casts are new, right? Like, even like Anna Camp, everyone was like, oh, Anna Camp's going to be that, because there's only like 2 other adults other than the main ones. And none of the main ones are going to be that. So it's like, okay, unless it's going to be an all teenage killer, like, it has to be Anna Camp, right? Like, you just by cleaning the slate would add an entirely new element to Scream that we haven't had since the original, right? Like, and I mean, you could argue Scream 5, but like, I would prefer that, because now, like, you could set up a girl as the final girl and then kill her, and the whole movie we think it's her, and and then in the end she ends up dying, and it's like, whoa, like, like, you just, now you can go outside your comfort zone. Now you can't go outside. Now you can go outside the box, and you can always like inject these characters. 5 films in, if Nev's like, I'd love a cameo, right? Like, throw her in there for a moment or something like that. But sorry, go ahead, Jake.
Well, just think about all the restrictions we have right now on the Scream franchise. I mean, we had an entire scene of the last movie where it was literally just writing out the 2 other kids that Sydney has because they just didn't want to work with them in this story.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that wouldn't happen if this was just like a ground up movie. You wouldn't have written in 2 other kids. You know, that's just a small example, but there's a ton of things like that now in Scream because we've just built off of Sidney Prescott's story for so many movies now. Eventually, you know, you got to move on. You got to do something else. I mean, I love Ash Williams, one of my favorite fictional characters. Like, I love him, love Bruce Campbell, sending so much love his way, by the way.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
I kind of respect him that he kind of let him, Sam Raimi, Robert Tappert, you know, just letting all these other filmmakers kind of take the reins of the Evil Dead franchise, do whatever they wanted with it. That's kind of dope. I don't know. I'll never stop bringing that up because I think truly some of the best franchise continuations are these new Evil Dead movies because they're just letting these up and comers do whatever they want with the franchise.
How cool would that be though? Like to be
with Scream,
imagine
that would be
every
great.
movie.
Right.
Imagine every movie. Like we get the next 10 movies are a new director, new writers, and then new cast. That's the beauty of Scream is it's not a Jason, it's not a Michael, it's not a Freddy. Like you can have anybody be under the mask. Like you have something that how many horror franchises have the avenue that they have?
Right. Right. Well, and the other thing too is like, okay, let's say they bring somebody on to do 8. You don't like that movie? Well, someone else is doing 9. You know what I mean? Like there's always going to be interest in what comes next. Right now, I'm telling you, like if let's say Kevin Williamson does decide to come back and write and direct Scream 8, there's going to be plenty of people who are going to be turned off to that now. Like I know many people will disagree and people are going to ride or die with Kevin to the end of time. And I respect that. Hell yes. But some people after seeing Scream 7 are like, I don't want to see another one if it's going to be the same thing as that, you know? But if it's somebody fresh, somebody new, there's like this optimism of willing to give this person a chance and see what else they can come up with. Evil Dead has that in their corner with every single new movie. You didn't like Evil Dead 2013 or Evil Dead Rise. Well, guess what? Evil Dead 6 that's coming up this summer could be something entirely different. And from what we're hearing, it is. So it's one of those things where I'm just like, man, that's like, you can't lose with a model like that. You get fresh ideas every single time. And it's something different. Like, it's like, okay, well, you didn't like that last idea. Let's see what this other guy's cooking up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great way to keep a franchise alive. And, you know, even with other, you know, horror franchises, you have to have different characters, you know? I mean, even something like Halloween. Laurie Strode wasn't in every Halloween movie. And that's a good thing, you know? And, I mean, as much as the character is beloved, but, you know, you were able to do some different things and create other great characters, you know, and actresses like Danielle Harris. I mean, I think that ultimately Scream has to find a way to evolve, and hopefully they're going to do it soon. I really hope so.
Fingers crossed. Silver Princess is throwing 5 out there saying, did you like my rewrite? Also, Roman is the strongest Ghostface. Yes. Silver Princess made an entire video over on her page breaking down a rewrite she has of Scream 7. There is a dream sequence scene in her version of Scream 7 that is just an infinitely better version of the AI Ghostfaces and the effect that they have on Sydney's mental stability. I loved that section so much. So thank you for the 5. And weirdly enough, this video made me like Scream 7 a little more because I'm like, wow, all these ideas really had potential had you just done them a different way. Right. And watching this video, I'm just like, oh my God, that's so much better. That would have worked. So thank you for that. Thank you for the 5. I really appreciate the support there. We also have Chris Nichols World saying Scream 7 finale should have been set at Casey Becker's house. That would have been kind of nice with the whole doing Scream but backwards thing. Scream 8, kill everyone. Final scene, Ghostface drenched in blood looking at the camera.
I like that.
How fast do you think they would burn down the studio if that happened?
Ghostface just killed everybody. I don't know. Like, so again, looking at the casual audience perspective, Scream fans would not like that. I think the average moviegoer would love that. You know, like I do. I think that would be the most successful Scream movie we've ever gotten. Right? Imagine if Sydney, Gale, everybody just got just bloodbath. Scream fans would probably riot, but I think people would love it. Go ahead, Jake.
Well, I think you might be right because I'm just thinking about Scream 7's success outside of fans of Scream. I'm like, what's another reason outside of the nostalgia, outside of the obvious points we've talked about? Scream 7 has the most brutal kills in the franchise, easy. We're not approaching this like how we usually do with Scream kills. We're approaching it like what's in right now, which is like Terrifier-esque brutality. And I think that's another reason that added to its success.
I've said in every one of these recent live streams since Scream 7, the casual audience loves this movie. They do.
Yeah.
Like every person that I've talked about that could give 2 Fs about my videos and Scream and all that stuff that are just going there just to go watch it are all like, dude, this movie's great. This might be my favorite Scream movie. And I'm just like, and when I take a second to think back to like, what do the average moviegoer like? This is just filled with that movie. Like I said, like even my girl was like, dude, this might be my favorite Scream movie since the original. And I was like, and she's like, what did you think? And I was like, I don't really know how I feel about it. I was like, I didn't want to like shit on her parade, but she loves it. Like,
it's a valid take though. Yeah. I mean, seriously, it's a valid, if you're here just for kills, like if you're here for a fun slasher movie, you will get that from Scream 7. You know what I mean? Like that 100%. I cannot argue with that or disagree with it because there is some insane kills that I can't lie. In the moment, I was like, whoa, this is really cool. But just again, in comparison to how Scream has treated these kinds of sequences before, it just feels really out of character.
Even the FU to the Stew believers, as messed up as that was, from a Scream, but do you know how many casual moviegoers are probably like, thank you, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like again, even that was a casual, to me, was like a casual line, like, because again, like the diehard Stew fans, like again, they want him to return, but like I said, it's a small fish in a giant ocean, and the casual moviegoer is probably like, what do you mean, Stu? The guy from the original movie, like he's dead, right? Like, and then to hear something like that, they're like, "See, I'm not the only one that thinks it's stupid, right?"
Yeah.
Like, again, it is kind of a slight to the fans, but like I say, you always got to put yourself in the casual movie goer. You always have to, like, that's why I stress it so much in these streams and my channel and all that stuff, because it's such a, people overlook that element because it's easy to get lost in our ecosystem.
I guess I'm just a pretentious film nerd. You know what I mean? I guess that's what that's what it comes down to.
I mean, most of us are to an extent, right?
Yeah,
because again, that's why we're in this space.
We're fans.
Yeah.
But I think to your point though, is I think that this movie is just like, let's throw out everything that made Scream scream. Let's just make a fun modern slasher. And I think that was my, like, just all of those elements that people really liked about it. I sound like such a fucking contrarian here, but I was just like, that's not Scream. That's not what I love about this franchise. Had this been its own thing, I think I would have liked it more. Like if this was Hard Eyes 2, if this was new Spyglass murder mystery slasher, I might have liked this one. But again, just the element, what was going on in this movie is not what Scream usually does. And I don't know. It's just, it's weird. It's like it's like making another slasher with the Ghostface mask is how I look at this movie. It's so out of character. Personality is gone.
Yep.
But that's just me. Chris Nichols, thanks for the 5. I can't argue with my friends here. I really think that if they made that movie, it would make $300 million. Zork the Dark One, real quick's throwing 5 out there saying, I love Nev's performance as an overprotective mom, but the overprotectiveness was an unintentional metaphor for overshadowing the new characters. Knight, I'll throw this one to you. First of all, how do you feel about Nev's performance, and do you feel like the new characters needed some more time and space?
The new characters definitely needed time and space. Even Tatum did. I mean, I think that that was one of the things that was very frustrating for me, especially when you have talent like McKenna Grace, who absolutely didn't do anything except get killed. I mean, it was a great kill, but I mean, we didn't know anything about her or the friends, and it ruins the mystery, because it's like, okay, well, I don't give a shit about any of these people anyways, right? I think Sydney was a good character in this film. I think Nev had some great moments as an actress, and I thought she would, being that this was very focused on her and motherhood. But I do feel as though I think that they should have allowed Tatum to kind of move outside of her shadow a little bit more, and I think that would have strengthened that bond, because it's just like a hero. It's only as great as its villain. I mean, same thing as with two characters. You got to have both characters pop in a little bit to be invested in both of them. I'm invested in Sydney a bunch, Tatum a bit, Now again, it's set up for the character as well, so we'll see what happens if they do bring her back in 8, which I'm assuming they will. But yeah, no, I think Nev had a great performance in general.
Tyler, how do you feel about Nev?
I mean, she's great as always. I just felt like, well, one, yeah, the new characters definitely needed more time. We've talked about, right? Like they're cramming too much stuff into these movies that they're not taking the time to develop what's important. And my problem though with the whole overprotective thing is like they went about it so wrong. Like everything that, like I've said this before, like all the dialogue, everything they did was not of people that have lived under the same roof for the last 17 years. It's all of people that like just met, right? All their conversations about like, you've never told me about your story, and her just all of a sudden starting to ask all these questions. Like, so we're just getting clued into the film, and now you're doing, and you still could have done that in such a better manner. Again, great ideas, improper execution is the issue. But hopefully it's better. But yeah, also if Zork the Dark One, if that's a Yu-Gi-Oh reference, because that your profile pic looks like Bakura, I like you more. That's great. I love it. I love it.
I thought it was just a cool name. Look at that. We got references.
I'm pretty sure that's a Yu-Gi-Oh reference.
I was a Pokemon man myself.
I was too. I was diehard Pokemon, and then
right.
And then eventually I got into Yu-Gi-Oh. But yeah. Anyway, I'll save the Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh stories for another day. Let's go.
And then there's some Magic the Gathering people like out in the distance somewhere, just like no.
Like,
okay. But
dude, I used to be sponsored. That's how I made money when I was like 13. I was sponsored playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
What?
I
didn't know that.
Yeah, like I used to make quite a bit of money. Like you win tournaments, get prize cards, all kinds of stuff, and then you sell them. Like you get PlayStations and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Oh
man.
man.
It used to be me and a couple of my buddies. I was on a team and everything. Those are the good old days.
What am I doing YouTube? I got to learn how to play Yu-Gi-Oh. Oh my god.
I haven't played in years. Like it's been probably, I don't know how old. I'm old now, so it's probably been like 15 years, if not longer.
You could probably still kick my ass because I don't even know how to play. So
probably, the game's so different now. Like I still have friends that still play it. Like I wouldn't understand. I'd have no idea. Like I'd be lost. It's yeah. Like even Pokemon now, from when I was a kid, the way it's played is like completely different. The thing
nobody
is,
even plays it
now.
though.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's cool now. When I was a kid, you couldn't tell anybody nothing. You like somebody like you play Yu-Gi-Oh, you want to fight about it? Like it's just now it's cool. Now everyone's like, everyone's like.
Here's the thing though. It's cool, but everyone's just buying the cards to scalp them, right? Isn't that what everyone's just doing in Pokemon now?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. But yeah,
crazy, man.
Those are the good old days, man. I miss those days. Going to all the tournaments, travel all over, like have my travel paid for and stuff like that. Was cool.
Zork actually has a Yu-Gi-Oh
channel.
Well, there it is.
See, look, see, there we go.
Comes together.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Real quick, little fate Easter egg tonight. That's awesome.
I saw that fate Easter egg.
Real quick on this, I'll just say I loved Nev Campbell's performance in this movie. I loved Courtney Cox's Gil Weathers. I mean, they both understand these characters so well that I think no matter what's thrown at them, they're always going to give you something of substance. I just feel like I agree with Faith. There's things about the writing specifically that were weird. I mean, Nev Camp. Why does Sydney Prescott not go back and get her keys opposed to just running down the street? You know what I mean? It's things like that where I'm like,
why did the cops show up? They were calling the cops when she ran. Is Sydney just like a triathlete, right? Like Usain Bolt,
she must
out
be.
The way, right? Like it's just.
Sydney Prescott would never do these things. Like it's stuff where it's like that's the writing, that is not her performance, and it's frustrating to watch stuff like that.
I'm sorry. Did you see what Guy said recently? I need to still do a video about it. Did you hear what he said about Scream 4?
What did he say? Oh wait, yes, he got the thing wrong about Jill.
Scream 4?
Oh yeah. Jill got shot in the head.
Why do we have a writer that's never seen a Scream movie?
That's a bad sign.
Dude, that was such a bad. I was like, this has to be fake. And I looked it up and I was like, he really said this. I was like, there's no way. Right? Like there's no way. right?
I mean,
Like,
she got electrocuted in the head. It's
but
it's
he
a common
specifically
mistake.
said she didn't only get electrocuted or the paddles or whatever. She also got shot in the head. And it's like, no, she didn't, you idiot. Like what are you talking about? What? All you had to do was watch the movie. This is the guy that's in charge of the franchise.
Well,
And
no, it's not. It's Kevin Williamson who's in charge of the franchise.
he's
but-
leaving.
He was.
like,
He's just
leaving.
Kevin Williamson just plastered his name all over this movie in the marketing, and everyone's blaming Guy Busick for it.
Well,
I
Kevin
don't know. That's
Williamson-
crazy.
Kevin
to me.
Williamson said the third act was all Guy. Kevin Williamson's thrown him, Anna Camp and Kevin Williamson has thrown Guy under the bus
Yeah.
like a lot recently.
That is
a
true.
lot.
Then don't plaster your name all over it and make
That's
the marketing all about how the
exactly.
original writer is writing and directing the
Yeah.
new movie, and he's blaming
Right.
the co-writer
Yeah.
for
No,
the
I
movie
agree,
not being
100%.
good.
I agree
Yeah.
100%.
It's weird to me.
But hey, I brought this up in one of these live streams. I was like, and everyone was like, "Oh, Kevin's never delivered on a bad Scream movie," and I was like, he's not how much did he actually do? How much did he actually write? Like
Right.
they tried to throw his name on it, and he probably got paid handsomely. They probably threw a bunch of money at him that's probably where 20 of the 45 million went to to try to like get him happy.
You got to take one for the team, Kevin.
But then to me, like Jake said, you got that's on you. Take it on the chin. Like, why are you throwing another
Yeah.
writer under the bus? Like,
Yeah,
right.
again, I think I just called him an idiot because I think he is. How do you say something like that about a franchise thing you did? But as somebody, like, it would be like if, I'm like, hey, I'll take the fall for you guys. Like, don't worry about it. And then I'm like, well, Jake's an idiot. Like, Jake did it. Like, no, I signed up for it. Right? Why am I throwing my fellow colleagues under the bus? I'm not a fan of that. But go ahead.
Whoever actually wrote Scream 7, to me, it doesn't even matter. Kevin Williamson went out there, put his name all over this thing, and the movie is significantly different than 5 and 6. Like, in terms of problems I had. At least that was my viewing experience. I'm like, it does not feel like the same person wrote this movie that wrote the last two. At least for me.
Right.
And I'm watching Scream 7 and I'm thinking something drastically changed from like for me, like Scream 5 is a 7 out of 10, Scream 6 is an 8 out of 10. They're cool. They got their problems, but I liked them. I walked out of the theater enjoying them. Scream 7 significantly lower than that. And what changed? You know what I mean? What is the change from 5 and 6 to 7? So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say about it.
One last thing I want to add. This feels like, to me at least, it feels like Kevin's got all these new projects that he's working on, and this movie's getting a bad rep for the writing, and he doesn't want that to fall on him.
Yeah.
That's what this feels like. This feels like
Yeah.
because he even said he's writing a new story for some show or whatever. He has like 2 shows and like another movie coming out or whatever. This feels like he's like, oh, the writing shit. Well, it wasn't me, it was him, right? Like,
Damage
and
control.
I don't like that. I'm not
yeah.
a fan of that.
I don't like it at all because the moment the reviews came out for Scream 7, like it was a day later that he said on the red carpet something like, "Oh, it was all Guy Busick's idea to do the AI thing," and I'm just like, "Yeah, what was it his idea?" I can't believe anything that he says anymore, honestly, at this point, because it's like, dude, you're clearly responding to the crowd reaction. You know what I mean? They see all of this shit. You think maybe they don't, but they do. And they know how people feel about it. And it's one of those things that it just feels shady. And I get protecting your own career. I understand that, but it's like to throw someone else under the bus in order to do that. It rubs me the wrong way. No matter what happened behind the scenes, it rubs me the wrong way.
Right. You got to stay professional.
You got to stay professional, 100%. Ordinary Haynes, and we'll probably wrap up after this one. Thank you for the $10. You're saying Scream 7 Ghostface was an intimidating force. Saw the movie 3 times. As I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Sorry, I can't read. C+. Meeks Martin twins and Kirby following a Ghostface cult is the way to go for a smaller budget Scream 8. I think this is a perfect way to wrap this up. And Knight, we'll start with you first, my friend. Like smaller budget Scream 8, that's likely what we're getting. What do you want to see in that film?
I mean, I think if you have a smaller Scream 8, you have a tighter story. Make it something it has to pop, right? You have to sit there and just be like, ooh, like for instance, you were talking about Evil Dead earlier. As soon as I heard that Evil Dead Rise was going to take place in an apartment complex, I was just like, what? And then I was like, oh man, you know what they might be able to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, and of course you have to deliver on that idea. It has to like actually hit. But I'm just saying, do something that smaller budget that we can get tighter in with the characters, especially if it was something like that with the Meeks twins. Like, yeah, exactly.
No, Erica said 6-7 likes, so I was like,
Yeah, right.
Oh my god.
But yeah, no, I'd be down for it, man. I really would. I really, really would. And hopefully that's what they're gonna do.
Dude, I'd be so down to see the twins and Kirby or something come back for 8.
Yeah.
They're great characters. They could use more, especially as the focus of a film. I think you could do so much more with them. Ordinary Haynes, I'd be all about this. Tyler, your thoughts real quick on all this.
Yeah, real quick. I mean, Scream 96 was very intimate, right? It's probably a good way to put it. You really got to know the characters. Everything was, again, it's well paced. It wasn't, we're over here, now we're over here, now we're over here, now we're over here. You felt like you were walking alongside these characters. I really want to get back to that. Like, I would love, like I said, just give me a Meeks twins where they're going and investigating, they're trying to break the stories, they're trying to get the scoop, all that stuff. And they're just trying to, they're traveling. You could have all these different locations. You could have small towns. You could have big cities. You could do everything, right? Like, and I mean, you could even kill one of the Meeks twins or something like that, like just to like add to the spice. But ideally, that's what I'd like. But yeah.
Knight, if you got to get going, it's all good, my friend.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna get ready to head on out. I got the bell rung, and you know what it means for family. But
that's all good.
I will catch you guys later.
All good, my friend.
Right.
Guys, go subscribe to the Night Watch Zones page and check out our Kill Zone on Thursday. Knight, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Absolutely, man. I'll catch y'all later.
All right, peace out, dude.
Peace.
Hell yeah. Ordinary Haynes, though, thank you so much for the 10. And I love this idea. I think, Tyler, I think we're in agreement that Scream 8 is likely going to be a lower budget thing. And I think probably will focus on some side characters, even though we do want a clean slate. What do you, opposed to a clean slate, like, do you think we'll actually get something like this?
Probably not. Like, if I'm being honest, I don't see it. Like,
will they make the $55 million Scream movie?
No, I don't think they'll do that, but I could see a similar budget to this. Like, my guess is what they'll do is they'll propel Tatum into more of a prominent role. So Tatum will play a bigger part. Sydney will kind of be just like in a couple scenes, maybe at the I could see Sydney kind of being more what she was in Scream 5. Like, whatever. Tatum goes to college or something like that. Ghostface shows up. She's in trouble. I didn't want to call mom. I got to call mom, because she's the only one that's going to be able to get me out of this. So, and then it's her daughter, so of course she's going to show up. Like, I think that'll be the case. Like, I think if Sydney's in this movie, it's probably very thin. So instead of paying her $7 million, it's like, hey, we'll give you 2 just to, for like a day, a couple days, 3 days work or something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever. Kind of like what she did in Scream 5. I think she got paid $3 million and it was like 3 days work or something like that. I could see something similar to that. And so that you'll be able to cut the budget down a couple million, have Gail in a smaller role. The problem is I just think those two are not going to be good in the movie, because we've seen every time that those two have a small role, they're terrible in the movie. Not like to them, it's just these people don't know how to write it.
Performance-wise, great. Writing-wise, why are they here?
Yeah. Like, even 7, Gail didn't need to be in that movie.
Gail did not need to be in that movie.
You could have done that entire movie without Gail Weathers.
Yeah, it could have just. I mean, you didn't need the Meeks Martin twins there either.
No, you didn't need them
but
either. Yeah,
it could have just been somebody running over the Ghostface. That's the only strength that needed to be there. Ordinary Haynes, though, thank you for the 10. I want something like this. I think you should write Scream 7 personally. Ordinary Haynes, can we make that happen? Because I think Tyler sadly might be right. I think they're probably going to just make another Scream 5. I don't know how I feel about that, but Peyton's throwing $20 out there saying, I loved Scream 7. I mean, I saw the movie 7 damn times. I respect people who want Sid to stop. I loved her. I think Gail should be a main character. My favorite scene is the Ghostface call in 6, with Ghostface going after Gail in 8 and Sid coming in. Peyton, first of all, thank you for the $20. I want to throw this to Tyler real quick, but we got a few more things to hit on. Gail is the main character in Scream 8. How do you feel about that?
I mean, we talked about on the last live stream, right? Like,
yeah.
you brought up the idea, if I'm not mistaken, of Gail. Like, oh, how cool would it be if Gail was a Ghostface, or not Ghostface? Sorry, was being chased by Ghostface. I think that, like, Gail, like, imagine a Gail in the Meeks twins film, right? Like,
yeah,
Gail's kind of managing them, or whatever you want to call it. You could have her just being this raging, you know what? Like the Meeks twins just hate it. Her and Mindy clashing. Like you could actually like build some substance, have some really like fun interactions. It, like you said, like we were talking about, it could be a small kind of intimate style movie where you don't have 15 characters or whatever. You have some cool deaths, people, random people die. You don't even need to develop the character deaths if you don't want to, because if the movie is like Gail and the Meeks twins tracking down, like hunting down, trying to solve Ghostface murders, they could be the main focus, and you're just being cued into the deaths. You know what I mean? Like rather than like, hey, here's a character we're gonna build and then they're gonna die. You could literally like, so basically you could save Guy all the writing, just write the Meeks twins and Gail. You got to have a couple supporting characters, but for the most part, like all the kills could just be you coming in the middle of a kill. Imagine like, you cut away and it's Ghostface walking slowly towards somebody and they're like, please, right? Like I don't need, like at that point, I don't need their development. I just need an awesome kill. And then you just, like we were talking about, the general audience, you have some awesome kills, and there you go. So
I think that the other thing too with the Meeks Martin twins in this movie is they almost felt out of character, in some ways mostly good. You know what I mean? I loved what they did with Mindy in terms of making her like the new Gale. And she's kind of like gunning for that position. That was really cool. But we still got like the scene. You know what I mean? We still got the scene where they're like, well, let me lay out all the rules about what's going on here. And it's like, I don't know if I didn't need that. Like I loved all the other new stuff that you were doing with the character. That was great. But it did feel like, someone else was writing her. And again, I wasn't in the room, but it does feel like this is Kevin Williamson kind of approach towards the character versus Guy Busick. And I will admit, I liked it better. But truthfully, I think that Guy Busick, when he's in his element and he's able to just write characters that he created, like we go and look at Ready or Not, the upcoming Ready or Not 2 this weekend, which I'm sure is going to be great. Abigail, you have some great character work here. Kind of the thing that, in my opinion, the dude is known for across like pretty much everything he's written. And some people will disagree because I think they've only seen Screams 5, 6, and 7.
But look at like Ready or Not and stuff like that. It's a smaller cast. It's a different type of film.
That's exactly what I'm getting to.
You know what I mean? Like you don't have to, like I said, he's trying to cram too much into these Scream movies.
Yeah.
Right. Where you look at Ready or Not again is another simple, easy film. And there isn't like, there's character development for like the main characters, but a lot of the characters, like you just kind of have, like they're there, you learn a little bit about them, you get some details, but they're just trying to hunt her down. And like, it's just, again, it's a smaller cast. It's more intimate. So it seems like he's trying to do too much with Scream. Is the point.
Scream is one of those franchises where like it has to be simple to work, and I think that's what been the problems with like the last couple of entries is that they've gotten too big for their britches. They're doing too much. They have too many characters. They have to simplify. So for 8, I think I don't even we talk about what's the best direction. Is it like, do we focus on Sydney? Do we focus on new characters? Wipe the slate clean, brand new characters in general. No matter which route they pick, as long as they go smaller with it. You can do a contained story with Sidney Prescott. You can do Sidney Prescott and her family is on vacation somewhere in a cabin in the woods and Ghostface attacks them. That could be a great movie. Same thing with Gale Weathers and the Meeks Martin twins. Just, you can't have all of them all in the same movie, coexisting, parts of the mystery, and only 2 of the new characters, 2 of the 4 new characters are Ghostface. You know what I mean? Like that's been the problem with the last couple of movies. We got to simplify. We have to make it smaller, no matter what direction we end up going in. Just for the love of God,
please.
Yeah, please. Make it smaller. Peyton, thank you for the 20 though. I would love a Gale-focused Scream movie so much. That would be amazing. Hollywood guys throwing a few super chats in there. Thank you for the support. I've arrived late to the party, but I have a couple of suggestions for directors: Rob Zombie or Rob Zombie's Scream. I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to hear Sidney Prescott say the C word, which is a word I cannot say on YouTube. Okay, maybe not, but what were your choices? I'll throw this to Tyler. Who do you want to see, like, new director? Like, forget the logistical stuff. Who would you actually want to see direct a Scream movie?
I don't know. That's a tough question. I've actually, like, thought about this, and I don't know. Like, the thing is like, you think of, like, most horror directors, like, there's some that I think could make a interesting Scream movie. But like, I look at their work and I haven't really found that one that I'm like, that's the guy, right? Like there's several that I'm like, we've talked about a few on like streams and stuff where I'm like, okay, like like he could be fun, he could be great. Like I don't know, I almost want them to just like take a chance on somebody. You know what I mean? Like Christopher Landon would have been, I think, fun because he's done like slashers and stuff like that. But I don't see him returning. I don't see him coming back. I love kind of like, like find one of these like find somebody that's made like an indie horror, that like was really good and had like rave reviews, and then give them a shot. Like just say, here you go. Like, because then one, you might be able to find that guy that can be that not Wes Craven namesake, but like Wes Craven's longevity in the franchise. You might be able to have if you hit on that director, it's like, okay, now he's that guy. And worst case, like we were talking about, you could just keep changing directors. Like, oh, hey, you didn't like that Scream movie. Here's a new one with this director, right? Like, and find that, kind of find that franchise player, right? Like, you got find that guy that could change the franchise. But
weirdly enough, I think we need to get somebody who isn't so Scream influenced. That might be it might be a weird thing to say, but I think if Christopher Landon made a Scream movie, it would feel very much so like the Radio Silence flicks. You know what I mean? In the sense that it would, it would be very nostalgic. It would be very much so like it's gonna be like a Sydney focused, or Sydney or Sam focused story, whatever, and it's gonna be it's gonna feel very similar to 5, 6, or 7. I really think like I remember reading about Mike Flanagan, who at one point was attached to make. Well, of course he's anything he touches is gold, but I remember reading about his approach towards doing a new I Know What You Did Last Summer film back in the mid 2010s. Like he was attached to develop it, and he kind of talked a little bit about what his idea would have been. And it was like a whole new idea from the ground up, essentially just utilizing some of the same franchise elements. Instead of, drunk rich kids hitting some dude in the middle of the road and hiding the body, it was like this dude who goes on a vacation, gets blackout drunk, and then wakes up and there's like a dead girl next to him, and the police find him and they don't know, it has to be him, like no one else was in this like cave or whatever where it happened. And it's like that's such an interesting reinvention of the same idea, right? Because it's still like, okay, someone is dead and we did it, we have to cover it up somehow, but taking it down a different way. I think we need someone who isn't a Scream fan to do the next Scream film. So like I know Rob Zombie would be insane. That's not maybe that's too far, but I think we need somebody who's just gonna bring some wildly fresh new shit to Scream. Like someone, because if Christopher Landon does it, if Josh Rubin, for instance, he's very clearly a Scream fan, they're gonna make more Radio Silence feeling popcorn movies, and that's not bad. That might make for a really solid 8 out of 10 film. But I think Scream needs an injection of just fresh ideas from somebody who has a totally different perspective on horror.
Yeah, great.
Hollywood Guy, thank you for the 5. Also throwing another 5 out there real quick, and Eric's making me laugh already. Hollywood Guy is also saying, dumb question, if Sydney and Kevin pushed Scream 8 and now that Kevin is gone, why did he push for the movie and not be here? I want something new. I think that Kevin's gonna play like producer. You know what I mean? He's gonna like stand on the sidelines and be like, "You're doing it, good job." What do you think, Tyler?
I agree. It does kind of feel like there's been a falling out. Again, I don't know. Like this is just my personal thoughts, but like Kevin Williamson one week went from like hyping up Scream 8, talking about, hey, Nev, tell him about Scream 8, and all these interviews, and just praising Scream 7 and then Scream 8. And then like the next week, he's like, yeah, movie sucks, writer sucks. He's just like, what? Like, it's just, I don't know. It kind of feels like, did Guy and Kevin have a falling out? Because like, what changed? I mean, it could just be like what we were talking about earlier. It was just, the backlash, right? Like all the noise, and that kind of just, he's trying to save face, but it's just, I don't know. It's like, how do you go from, in interviews, giddy talking about, man, I can't wait for Scream 8. I mean, he's even talking about maybe directing Scream 8. Like people are asking him about it. He's like, yeah, hey, I'd love to type thing, to like, this sucks. Like, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah. It's been a weird, couple of years for Scream for sure. I don't know. I truthfully, I think it was just because they wanted it to do well. Can I be honest? They wanted Scream to do well and for people to show up. And now Kevin's like, okay, it's out, it's making money. I can move on to other things.
Now I can say what I really want to say. I can tell you how I really feel.
I am especially feeling the Scream burnout from a lot of people that work on these films. Like, it just feels like people are moving on to other things, and they're just like, okay, we've done the Scream thing. Let's move on. So I do feel that wave coming. I do think that if Scream 8 does happen, which it absolutely will, I don't see it having the same sort of hype that like both 6 and 7 kind of had. I think this is where we start to see the decrease. Eric is throwing 5 out there saying, Jake, I've been saying, man, you and I can make part 8. That's a can of worms that I don't know if I want to untangle. Tyler, would you want to direct a Scream film or be creatively in charge in some way?
I wouldn't mind like come up with ideas. I could be the idea man. I got that. But all the intricacies into writing a script and stuff like that. I don't think that probably wouldn't be my area of expertise. Directing, again, I've never directed, so the vision, I could hey, that could be a good shot. I would love to be kind of like let you direct, and then you're like, hey, hey, what do you think about this shot? And I could be like, yeah, I see it, or no, hey, let's try it. You know what I mean? Kind of be creative on it. Hey, here's a different perspective, because sometimes you need that. I think I'd be a good perspective guy. Hey, this might be great, this might not. I don't really like this, especially because I'm brutally honest. I always tell people, don't ask me something if you don't want the answer, right? So I'd be like, yeah, that shot sucks, right? Or this sucks, right? But as far as the intricacies that go into a film, I've never done it, so I don't know if I'd be good in that area, but I got ideas, man. I could be idea man. Bearded. Let's go.
We will all sit in a round table and just throw ideas out there. We can do that for sure. Eric, thank you for the 5. I got to call you about something later, by the way. Austin Allman, well, sorry, not you, Tyler, Eric, but
okay, Eric. Yeah.
But I still love you, Tyler.
It's fine. No, it's cool. It's cool.
I'm still gonna call you, and we'll still,
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I'll twiddle my feet up in the air, Oh shit, he's done. He's like, fuck this guy. Look at him. I'm just kidding. Austin, thank you for the buck, my friend. I really appreciate it. And look at that. Hollywood guy's also throwing 5 out there saying, when 8 is made, please no nostalgia. Guys, pull your hands up in the air and pray to the horror gods that we don't get this. No AI characters. Give me something new and fresh. Pretty, please. Hollywood guy, I don't think I can think of a better I don't think I can think of a better way to end this stream. Thank you for the 5. Tyler, what's your main wish for Scream 8?
Just give me a good movie. Again, just get back to simplistics. I said that with Scream 7, right? They keep trying to be clever, and Scream 96 was such a simple film. When you really look at it, again, it has one of the fewest kill counts in the franchise. You can still have, small group of characters. You could still have the modern kills, right? You can still have the crazy kills, but just again, get back to some simplicity. Right? I feel like they're just trying to cram too much. Either you need to make this next Scream movie 2.5 hours, or you need to trim the fat. Every one of these Scream movies, it's you could have cut probably 30 minutes out of this movie and it would have been great. But they just wanted to oh, what about this? It's like them taking every idea that comes into their head and just throwing it into the movie. And it's sometimes you got to kill your darlings, right? Yeah, you might think this is a great idea, but sometimes you got to kill them, right? Go ahead. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I hope moving into the next one we just get a slim Scream movie. You know what I mean? Yes. Just something sweet, simple, to the point, and just it works. It's great. Yeah. Tyler, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate you. We'll be on, I believe, Night's page next week, right?
Night's next, yes. See,
I'm still confused with the new cycle, so apologies there. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll be live on the page every single night this week here on Killjoy Jake, so please stop on by. Please, for the love of God, watch the Dexter videos. I'm putting a ton of time and effort into these bad boys, and they fucking rock. Episode 1 is out right now, so go watch it after this stream. So much love to you all. Thanks for being with us, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. Bye-bye.